The war in the U.S., they said about 80% of it is contaminated.
Yeah.
I know. Go ahead and raise your hand. You didn't know. Where your hands at? Come on. That's right. You ain't supposed to know. You're supposed to keep drinking and keep killing. People complaining. They've already tested it. Even the water with fields, 80% of it is contaminated.
Yes, sir.
So you didn't know about it. This is the same stuff they talk about, and everybody talking about how they did in Flint, Michigan. Everybody in the world getting done the same way in the United States. You're a victim of America. You're not a citizen of America, okay? I mean, white people can look to defend the country and fight the country, fight for all these people. They don't realize the only problem you got, the country don't have any loyalty to you.
Right.
Our loyalty had to be to our creator, Mr. Yahuwah. We got to teach our people how to become more informed about things that's going on around you. See, the people you victimize are people that are less informed. Y'all know that?
Yeah.
Some people got out of Ukraine before the war started.
Yep.
Some people trying to get out now. And you know the difference is when you got the information. People wait around and see, let me see how bad it's gonna get before I go. You gotta be ready to listen, you gotta be able to uproot and get out of here if you got to. Listen, I got a lot of stuff. When they come down to my safety, my family and him, we gotta go.
Right.
I can't be sitting around waiting on what nobody else decision. I know what we gotta do.
Right.
Y'all got it? You can't be indecisive in your decision making, especially come to your living. Everything should revolve around your salvation. That should be centered. So everything you do revolves around it. So you got to watch what you got revolving around you. It's like a meteor. If it's too close, it's going to collide and it's going to crash. It's going to destroy everything you're doing. That's how you got to look at Kataim, sin. That's why you got to become cognizant of decisions you make and what's going on around you, your future. Y'all got it. If you're going to have an existence, everything Yahuwah set up for us was for an existence. When he created the Alahym, he created for an existence. Did y'all know he said that the Alahym abides forever? So what was his intent when he made it? That it's going to continue to stand. Now, the things inside of it are going to find itself being destroyed. He said, but the Alahym is going to abide forever. He's going to set his malkuth up him. Made no mistakes. He's purifying it. He's destroying it. He's wiping people out for a reason. At some point, he's trying to get your attention. EU told us that Alahym speaks once, yea, twice, but what's the problem? They don't perceive it. They get more and more into homosexuality. They get more and more off course. They get more and more into adultery, fornication, everything else. And Mr. Hood just showing the people that's cognizant or not. We just read last night when he told us about that if a person said they know of him and don't keep his commandment, he said that person is a liar. And that's what he's proving out now. Who's going to be of the Amah, who's going to be of the Khazar. So you have to make decisions every day. When y'all get up, I don't know if you took note or paid attention to your existence only came in because somebody favored you this morning. And you might be down and out by some things going on in your life, but somebody favored you this morning. I mean, they're giving you an opportunity, either for his Yeshua, his salvation, or either for his wrath and his indignation. But he favored you. Now you got to make a choice which side you're going to be on. Every day you need to consider somebody favor. I know it's easy when something go wrong, something happen. Oh, my whole world collided, my whole world destroyed, my whole world. Your world ain't done until you out of him. So you're still him. So you got to make decisions. You got to consider. You got to look at how much you put into things and don't let some of us, we exert so much of ourselves into things till we wind up not having enough when it comes down to what we need for our ruach, our spirituality. That's the most important thing with everything we do. So that's what we got to make sure we do, start centering things. Y'all got it? Then you got to look at what objects you have around it. Y'all got that?
Sir.
Probably don't. We'll look at it. Anyway, we'll see how it work out for. How about that? All right, we're going to let them sign the Kato Sarah and we'll see what does say Mr. Yahuwah. Them all cool do what they supposed to do. A lot of them ain't said that, which tell me they ain't done it. Well, and they know what I told them last night. What y'all remember what I told y'all? Or what I put in the text? You can't hear Land Council? Pull the snicker. I couldn't remember. They had me too low. He said, turn me up a little bit. Big Tim, yo, Big Tim. Turn me up a little bit. Land Council want me screaming and hollering at people. I'm trying to be this nice, calm, relaxed, raw like I'm always am. Then you got to check. Who else? Gerald, Rashida, and Princeton, and Janae. Well, congratulate other people. What about y'all, Kubasa? You got to check? That's what I'm talking about. That's good. I appreciate it. Tabitha. Jahi, who all got to check? And you got to check. Who else got to check? All the kids. Y'all the kids that love him so much, right? Y'all the kids. The man just told all y'all got to check. Y'all see that? That's your friend now. All right, we'll let him sign the katos around. We appreciate Yahuwah, everything he has done, everything he is doing. Y'all know we're going to start Romans 15:4. Again, we're using the Beth HaMashiach, this program today, this Yom. What we'll be using it, Layla, I couldn't tell you. We just always look and keep our mind into transitioning. Don't get locked into nothing but living right. Right. No matter everything else, be ready to transition. I got it? All right, this is Romans 15:4. Listen.
For whatever Nikatab before.
So for whatever was written before.
Nikatab to limit us.
Was written to teach us, to show us, and instruct us.
So that through endurance.
So going through
and
without quitting.
And through the Nakum of the Ketubim.
And the constellation of the writings.
We might have Tikva.
We might have Tikva. Let's look at some, since I was talking about surrounding things around. Let's see if that's Alaph Shamual. It should be 1 Samuel. Herd of Alahym. That's what we live in. Herd of Alahym. That's what Shamual means. Alaph Shamual, 1 Samuel. See that 4? Probably 5 is what I'm wanting. Since we called for, let's see 4 and 1 right quick. Might be a good place. He got us there for a reason. Let's see. Alaph Shamual, herd of Alahym. All right, listen.
Thus the Debar of Shamual came to all Yasharal.
Thus the Debar came to all of who?
Yasharal.
So what we can say based off the name? Can you please say it louder so the rest of them, apparently nobody else heard it.
They heard of Alahym.
Think about it. The name of the book is Herd of Alahym. Why wouldn't he tell you that? What did he say? Read it again.
Thus the Debar of Shamual
did what?
Came to all Yasharal.
That means they heard of Alahym. Listen.
Now Yasharal went out to meet the Philistine in battle and camped beside Ebenezer, while the Philistine camped at Akfik. The Philistine drew up in battle array to meet Yasharal.
Mm-hmm.
When the battle spread, Yasharal was defeated before the Philistine. The field of the army, in the field about 4,000 Anashim.
What happened?
When the arm came into the camp, the Zakanim of Yasharal said, "Why has Yahuwah defeated us today?" Before the Philistine.
You said they argued with the people and told the people they were sorry and what now?
The Zakanim of Yasharal said,
which would have been the elders of Yasharal. What did they say?
Why has Yahuwah defeated us this Yom before the Philistine?
And they told the people how stupid they were and what the people did.
Let us take of ourselves from Shiloh the Taba of the Berith of Yahuwah, so it may come among us, and it may save us out of the hand of our enemies.
Y'all see that? They want to go and take the Taba, which was the box that they would use. They called the Ark of the Covenant, where they kept all of the different ritual things. They kept Aharon, which was who they would call, who they would call. They called Aaron, and who was the Ark, the brother of Mushah. They took it, they had that, and they had the manna, which was the bread, which means what? They didn't know what to call it. They had the writings, they had the Shurim, the Mushah wrote. All this was inside of the Taba. They kept all these things inside of the Taba. So when they looked at, they realized something that we don't recognize when you fall. Alahym against you. They didn't go and talk to the people. They didn't go talk to the captain of the host to see what he did wrong. Did he train the people correctly? They knew automatically what happened. The elders, which would have been their age men who had experience, to realize when we went up and we fought and we lost, why was Alahym against us? Why did Alahym make us fall? See, they recognize things differently. You see, it wasn't the young people. Young people never would have considered that. Young people looked at somebody else to blame. It's the times where things change. But the Zakanim, the elders who had been there over a period of time, realized something. We only fell because Alahym was with our enemies on this one. So let's go back now and retrieve the ark. Let's go back and get the top, which will be a name for the box that they call the Ark of the Covenant. Come on.
So the arm sent to Shiloh, and from there they carried the Taba of the Berith of Yahuwah of Sabaoth, which dwell between the cherubim.
So they went to Sabaoth. He's gonna be what we call the Lord of War. Is that right? Him and his army. Come on.
And the two Beni of Ali, Kafani, and Phoenicus were there with the Taba of the Berith of Alahym.
Mm-hmm.
And it happened when the Taba of Berith of Yahuwah came into the camp.
What happened?
All Yasharal shouted with a great shout.
Yeah.
So that the rocks resounded.
So it sounded out. They could hear it all over the land. Come on.
And the Philistines shama the call of the shout.
What did they
said? What does this noise of this great shout in the camp of the Abarim mean?
Yes.
Then they understood that the Taba of Yahuwah had come into the camp.
Listen.
The Philistines were afraid, and they said, Alahym has come into the camp.
Yes.
And they said, woe to us, for it happened not thus yesterday, nor the third yom before.
Mm-hmm.
Woe to us, who shall deliver us from the hand of these great mighty ones?
Yeah.
These mighty ones are the mighty ones who smote the Mitzrites, which with every plague in Bamidbar.
See that? They're looking at this. They recognize that Alahym had come in to fight for them. This is the same Alahym that fought for us in Mitzrayim that they call Egypt. And they knew what happened now. They started looking at all of the different signs that he left at the ox, the signs of showing his coming. So they understood Alahym not by his face, not by his physical appearance, but by his ability. And they understood what came with that. Right. That if he came down, there were going to be plagues on him. If he came out, there was going to be destruction on him. And they knew their kids were going to wind up dying. Come on.
Take courage and be as Anashim, O Philistine.
Yeah.
Let you shall become the Abadim of the Abarim, as they have been Abadim to you.
Yes.
Therefore, be as Anashim and fight.
You know what's amazing? What you hearing them saying? They start looking at your condition. They say, I never want to be like you.
That's right. That's right.
He told them to start fighting, defend with everything they got, unless we'll be servants like them.
That's right.
We'll be slaves like them. Need people willing to fight. Why y'all think this system fights you so hard?
Yeah.
You think the American system, the European system, is willing to sit down and be subservient to us like we were to them?
No, not at all.
You think they're willing to go to the back of a restaurant, don't use a restroom or a water fountain?
Not at all.
And let us get the superior one?
Not at all.
You think they're willing to let us segregate their kids for education?
No, sir.
And don't let them vote and have rights and let us be the people in charge?
Don't do it.
That's why they fight you so hard. Everybody read your book. He just gave them the cause to fight. They looked at the way we did them and the way they living to us. I never want to live like that. I fight with everything I got. Listen.
So the Philistine fought, and Yasharal was defeated.
Yeah.
And every Ish fled to his tent, and the slaughter was very great. For there fell of Yasharal 30,000 footmen.
Yeah.
And the Taba of Alahym was taken, and the two Beni of Ali, Kafni, and Phoenicus moved. Now a Ish of Benjamin ran out of the battle array and came to Shiloh on the same yom, with his clothes torn and dust on his head.
What was that for, brother? Shame. He was embarrassed. He was shamed because they had fallen. Come on.
When he came, behold, Ali was sitting on his seat by the wayside watching, because his lob was trembling for the Taba of Alahym. So the Ish came to tell it in the city, and all the city sayak out.
Yes.
When Ali shama the call of the outcry, he said, what does the call of this tumult mean? Then the Ish hurried and came and reported to Ali. Now Ali was 98 years old when his were set so that he could not see.
Yes.
The Ish said to Ali, I am the one who came from the battle array, and I escaped from the battle array this yom. And he said, how did things go, my Ben?
Yes.
Then The Malaki answered and said, Yasharal has fled before the Philistine, and there has also been a great slaughter among the and your two Beni also, Kaphni and Phoenicus, are moot, and the ark of Alahym has been taken.
Yes.
And it came to pass, when he mentioned the ark of Alahym, he fell from off his seat backwards by the side of the dog, and his neck was broken, and he moved, for he was an old ish and heavy. Thus he mashpa Yasharal 40 shanim.
Yeah.
Now his daughter-in-law, the Asha Phoenicus, was pregnant and about to give birth.
Yeah.
And when she shama the news that the Taba of Alahym was taken and that her father-in-law and her husband were moot, she kneeled down to give birth, and her pains came upon her.
Mm-hmm.
And about the time of her moot, the Anashim who stood by her said to her, "Don't be afraid, for you are giving birth to a being." But she did not answer, nor said her law. And she called to the boy Akabad, saying, "The kabod has departed from Yasharal because of the Taba of Alahym was taken, and because her father-in-law and her husband."
So the reason why we are kind of looking at this is start to look at sometimes you try to run back to try to grab it at the last minute, it don't work for you. You have to start looking at keeping consistency from the very beginning. These people had already been living a life that had gone contrary, and Alahym were coming back to pass Mashpat on and let them know that they thought they could run back for cover, but they had been exposed. See, it's easy to run back when you find yourself in a bad situation, and this gives us an opportunity to see why you consider why you don't try to break away. Sometimes he's been conned the way he giving some of us favor to return and come back. When these people try to return to get back with him, and they felt had they gotten the word that it'd be a protection, been a shield for them, they still had fallen because Alahym was against them. He had already passed Mashpat on the Benin of Ali and on Ali. And he would come back to make sure what he said he was going to do, he had done it. See, all these things were written for us for a reason, so we would consider. Again, you would consider the con that he giving you the fact he hadn't cut you off, but to consider when these people try to go back and try to recover and try to run back to get the ark to come back to get the Taba, it didn't work. So we consider how we need to be consistent in our lifestyle from the very beginning, and why there's a reason not to break. Although there will be some that will break protocol, that will break cadence, that will do something different. For those of us that got an ear to hear, you need to see why you don't, because the time you go to run back, he might not be there for you. A lot of time we play with a lot of things you don't consider. Every day you need to get up and examine the life you're living. Every day you need to consider the type of person you are. Every day you need to know why you're doing what you're doing. If you ain't got a purpose, why you gonna keep doing it? There's got to be a purpose. There's got to be an end to what you're doing. I'm just getting up and just living right. I'm just getting up. I'm just living right. I'm just getting up. Why are you living right? I'm just getting up. I'm just living right. I'm getting up. I'm just getting right. Why are you living right? I'm just getting up. I'm just living right. It's got to be a purpose. I'm looking for the end. Yeah. Y'all got it. This whole thing coming to an end. Anybody with common sense see where the world at today? How much longer do we talk? Well, how much longer do we possibly have? Another what? 100 years? Another 300 years? There's no way possible we got another 300 years. Nobody never seen the world in this condition it's in. That's why I try to attack the intelligence of our young people to get them to consider the time you thinking you got, you don't have it. That's right. We're in the worst state this country ever been. Not just the country, this whole alarm. Nobody's ever seen the light. I don't care if you got the sun shining, the rain coming, or whatever you got. When they come, it always working against us. A pretty sunny day right now. Thursday they recorded that's the hottest day has ever been on the planet.
Yeah.
The hottest day has ever been on the planet? That's something to consider. Y'all seen the rain that's coming through India? They get, listen, monsoon rain coming through, listen, wiping down. They got mud houses. They don't have them no more. That man wiping these places. He's hitting everywhere. He's destroying these places. It's time to overturn that place. This is what it's going to take to get his arm, his people to sit down and consider. If he's destroying everything around you, that's to keep you from having a place to try to run and hide. Think about it. People run to go to other countries to live, to try to escape, to try to have a different life, to start over. When you don't realize when you're the same person, it don't matter where you go, you're going to carry the same junk with you. Some people keep thinking, if I move to a new house, but if you're the same person, what changed? People always looking for something to change. If I try changing how I dress, change the way I cut my hair, wear my hair. If you're the same person, you're gonna still, it always goes right back to the same thing. How we learn how to change ourselves is from a mental aspect, and that's to get an understanding. When we get the understanding, which is Banah, that he grants us, then you see things differently. You know, you have a proper perspective of what you're trying to do. When you don't change your ideas and the way you think, it doesn't matter what you wear and where you stay, you're going to retreat right back to what you've been doing. It's just like a dog. He said, you're going right back to your vomit. And you're going to be just like a sow when you wife. You're going right back to the mud. I don't care how you clean the pig up. He's going right back to the mud. When a dog eat, it's just a natural thing. You ever seen anybody have a dog? They throw it up. What they do? Pick it right back into it. You say, then when people see, they say you do something, they say, you nasty dog. But that's the purpose, so we'll get an understanding. So we